Hello, we are the Confused Yorkshiremen. I'm Ben.
I'm Frank.
And I'm George.
We've all got questions each, and we're going to try and answer them to be less confused, maybe.
It's not going to work.
No, probably not. So I'm going to kick
The
it off.
problem is, if we become not confused, we can't do the podcast anymore.
Yeah, the day I become not confused, I'm just alt F4ing out like straight away. Like you just see,
Yeah,
you
we
just
just
say the
Yorkshiremen then.
you just leave me from the overlay. I just grey out.
That's when we'll make a new podcast.
What Yorkshiremen that know what they're doing?
Yeah.
So we have to make a new podcast thing and make a new logo and everything.
Yeah.
No, we're just gonna reflavor the first logo. I'm not gonna lie. We're just gonna change a word on it.
Make it a different colour. Rebrand the entirety of Yorkshire.
Instead of
No.
question marks on overlay, we'll just have exclamation marks.
Why exclamation marks?
Because
What's this new podcast about?
We're objectively correct. We say hot takes, and we're just correct. You have to accept it.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
never
well,
correct.
I'm going to kick it off for my first question. And it is, what do you think school should have taught us?
I think they did very well, and I am a very smart person, and that's why I'm doing a podcast that's about being confused, I guess.
I feel like, well, schools they don't train you to succeed, they train you to pass exams. That's their purpose.
What I heard once is schools train you to be an employee, which is just...
Yeah, they prepare you for like a factory job.
Yeah, or an office job. A job where you're working for someone else and you've just got to do stuff.
Because
could be anything.
Schools haven't really changed much from like the Victorian era, which is where they were just pumping out.
What are you talking about? Instead of whiteboards, we've got smart boards, man.
Oh,
didn't you love it at the start of
difference.
each lesson where a teacher had to press the things to calibrate the
You know what I find mental? Kids these days are getting iPads in the classroom. What the fuck? Where'd the budget come from for those?
I don't think our school we went to would afford that.
I don't think our schools were iPads.
I could go
Why
check.
call it our school? Like we still go there.
Because it had a massive impact on our lives, was a formative influence on our youth, and there's memories from that we're probably never going to lose, for good or ill.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for good or ill. Yeah.
Like there's I shouldn't name names, but I still remember I was walking with a guy, and he ducked into the sandwich queue, stole a baguette, and then walked away casually. And I was like,
"That scarred you."
What?
It sounds like that scarred you.
No, it was more like
ever since that day, Frank's been stealing baguettes.
Well, it was like so blatant, and no one gave a shit. I was like,
do you think like the kitchen staff gets paid enough to deal with that kid that's stealing baguettes? I'm just like, fucking have it. Yeah,
to be fair, when I was working in like food, like if someone came up and tried to nick some out thing, I'd be
Where
like,
did you work in food?
All right, just because I worked for Ronald's fucking hellhole doesn't mean.
I just remind you of it because I know you hate it so much.
Oh, it's just I wasted 3 years of my fucking life in that place.
What did you learn more from McDonald's or school?
I'd argue that I'd probably say it's not McDonald's. It's the fact that I was in a working environment. It taught me a lot more of how you sort of deal with stuff in that working environment, sort of professionalism, how you're supposed to maintain that. Even though McDonald's was very much not a professional work environment. Jesus Christ!
It's not. When I go in and like order something, I stand there waiting for my order, watching people. It's like, if these guys work for me, they'd be sacked instantly.
Well, it's because no one gives a fuck. Like,
yeah.
Like, the reason why no one gives
McDonald's
a fuck
is all people fresh out of school that don't have that experience working, and they just don't know how to work in a professional environment because school doesn't teach you that.
Yeah,
school's not a professional environment.
School doesn't teach you how to
school environment.
Yeah, because one thing I noticed when working there was I think the reason why no one gives a shit is because it's top down. No one gives a shit. Like, your higher ups don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about how you're doing. They don't give a shit about anything about you. Like, my favorite thing was when I was calling in and being like, I'm really ill. Like, genuinely sick to the point of, like, So if you've got the flu or like a stomach bug, probably shouldn't be working in the kitchen. I don't think that's a complicated idea, but apparently it was to get it past some people. They're like, "Are you sure you can't come in?" And I'm like, "I am shitting myself.
But Frank,
I'm not coming in."
we've got to make the burgers to make the money.
Yeah. Sorry, the light that I've got set up here is just continuously flashing, so I'm just turning it
Sorry.
off.
So is George's. It's just flickering.
That's just my camera. It's poor quality.
I
What
don't
do you
wanna
want me to do? This is what you got
I
to
don't
deal
know.
with.
I don't want to give people
Oh, well,
epileptic
it's a
seizures.
podcast. Most people just listen to it anyway.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
You should probably put like a flash warning on this episode.
Epileptic.
I'll see if I can sort it. I'll give my camera a little wiggle. But anyway, going back to schools. What about
Don't you think they should have taught us a bit more about personal finances and taxes? Or
Well,
like getting mortgages or something.
Well, but from a school's point of view, if they're only wanting people to be employees, a lot of the time an employee's taxes are already sorted.
Yeah, it's all done
Like-
for you.
I've never had to sort my own taxes.
Because you're not self-employed.
Yeah, but people don't understand how taxes work, though, a lot of them. Don't you think people should know?
Well, I
People
think
should, but
it's a difficult one. Like, I'm a bit on the fence about it because it's like, if people don't know about it, then I can learn about it. And then I know about finances and I've got something that other people don't have. And you're probably the
very
same, Ben,
greedy.
because you spend a lot of your spare time learning this stuff.
Yeah, but I'd rather have learned it in school with everyone else.
Yeah, but think you've got something that other people don't have now.
yes,
Yeah,
but
a lot
of
of people
everyone
that way.
should have.
Bit of an
I don't have
evil
that
way of thinking
mentality.
about it. But it's like, yes, I understand finance, and you do not.
I did forget that George is morally bankrupt. This is
If we go in for like the right thing to do, yes, I think they should.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what schools should be doing, the right thing.
Yeah, they should be, but
like
don't know.
schools have a responsibility to help the next generation, but
Yeah.
schools were initially designed, as Ben said earlier, as just a pipeline to get employees. Like, societal change only happens once it's profitable.
Sorry, I was just messing around with my camera again because it's still flickering. I was listening though.
Yeah, that's like, it just happens. Like, so schools popped in and it became properly funded when it was realized that it would make the country more economically powerful.
Well, what did we have before schools? Was it just universities and then people worked with their family business or whatever it was?
Are you rich? You can send your child to a boarding school.
Going back to this.
It was the Victorian era, mate.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to be pissy at rich people in the Victorian era, George. Like, I think I'm allowed to be pissed at the guy who's running child labour in his sweatshop. Like,
They weren't called sweatshops; they were factories, Frank.
okay,
They were just normal shops.
yeah, they were all sweatshops. There's no such thing as a sweatshop when they're all sweatshops.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just. That's
Sorry
just
to any
how.
Victorian listeners out there.
Yeah, sorry to any listeners from the what century was it?
19th.
Yeah.
But we're in the 20th.
We're in the 21st.
We're in 21st.
Oh fuck!
We've already spoken about this before in another episode.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
throws me off.
centuries.
It always throws me off that it's a century ahead. Like, what? What do you mean? Why? It's infuriating.
Because you don't have the zeroth century.
BC. The class BC is like the first century.
We don't. What actually happened in the first century? Do we really need it?
I mean,
I can't tell you what happened. In fact, it would fall at Roman Empire in first century.
Oh, that's
that was
it fall?
It was in the 5th century.
What
It fell in like 400 AD.
400. Am I thinking the start of the Roman Empire then?
No.
That was just before.
No.
I can't remember.
The Roman Empire lasted for a very long time.
It depends if you class in the Byzantine Empire as the Roman Empire.
Well, the Byzantines count themselves, but they did.
Technically, it ended in 1453.
Well, yeah, but I could claim to be anything. Like, if it doesn't make me Rome, like.
Okay.
It's like if the UK exploded.
Maybe they should have taught us about this in school.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they did.
I can't remember being taught about this in school. The only history I remember from school was World War One and World War Two. That's pretty much all
Did you do GCSE?
No, I didn't take history.
Okay.
So I literally just did like World War One, War Two, dropped it. What did I do at GCSE? I can't remember.
Yeah, to be fair though,
I did art. I
we
remember
only
art.
really
Yeah, because we sat next to
IT.
each other.
Other
go
than
back in
finance,
time
I
and
don't
kill
know
him.
what the teachers. I'm not a school advisor person.
What about how to actually communicate with people and like make friends in the real world?
What? So
Firstly,
you have a friendship lesson. This is how to make friends.
firstly, Ben,
Well,
you
you
How
can
do
do
you?
like that. You
anyone
can
would
work
pay?
it into actual other lessons.
Yeah,
Firstly,
but
Ben,
how do you?
anyone
How
pay
do you
for a
teach that, Ben?
friendship lesson?
How do you
Any
teach
kid,
how to be friends? Because each friendship is completely different to the next one.
Well,
any
think
kid
about it.
who
The
gets
only
high,
reason why you made friends in high school is because you spent every day together with them,
yeah.
and you were just kind of forced to be friends with them.
Well, yeah, that's how
How
I
do you
met
do
you
that in
guys.
real life?
Is this where you're going to reveal that you don't want to be friends with me because you got
No, I
forced
do.
11 years ago? Oh, when I was with you in the performing arts lesson.
Oh fuck! Performing arts was such a fucking. It was just drama, but with like a bit of dance in it as well. And I'm like,
Ours were just dance.
Yeah, we're just dancing.
it was yours was just dancing. Why did they just call it dance? Fucking.
What? Talk about stuff like that with PE. I think they should have actually taught you more about like the physiology of the human
You
body
do
and
that at
everything.
GCSE if you pick it.
Yeah, but why didn't you do that like normally? I'd have loved that
Because
because
PE is because they want you to do like 2 hours of physical activity a week, and that's just what PE was for.
PE is just to make it so your kids are less fat. That's its purpose.
but the problem with PE is the kids that aren't fat don't do anything. They just sit there.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Like get the rugby kids
And
to
start
chase them
whipping
around the
them to
pitch?
start running.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do? You can't force someone to exercise.
All you can do is give them like a detention, and that's it.
No, what you do is you give the kid the ball in rugby and be like, okay, so you're gonna run. We're gonna get the whole rest of the lesson
They'll just drop the
chase you.
ball and storm off.
Well,
No, I don't want to do it.
I'll turn around and get until he leaves the pitch. Fair game.
You can't start beating up children because they're
I'm
not
not
doing
beating the
your.
child.
You can't
You're
endorse
making
I'm
other.
not
other kids
beating the
beating up other kids.
Okay, have you heard of the Roman principle of decimation, where we get 9 out of the 10 to beat up the?
Frank wants to introduce the cane back into schools, is what I'm
Oh my
hearing.
god, no! That's for a position of power. I'm just encouraging children to sort it out themselves, you know?
Why would the other kids care that that kid is not doing PE?
They'll get a reward if they.
They'd be like, "Oh, more ball time for me in football! Yay!"
That's true, man. I
Oh
think
my god,
PE
I remember in PE where someone cried because they didn't win a game of football and they threw their shoes at the wall. I'm not saying who it is. You guys probably don't even remember him, but my god, he cried
Did
because
everyone
we
point?
lost.
Did everyone point and laugh?
We just all take it, because why are you fucking crying? No, half of people were sat down on the floor not giving a shit because it's PE. And he's
Yeah,
crying because we lost a game of football in PE.
That's
very
just what a lot of footballers are like in our year.
yeah. They were
I
very
understand having a passion, but you don't take it into a friendly PE game.
yeah.
That's like me when I used to be into Heroes at Storm, fucking crying because I lost at an unrated game.
Oh yeah, when you qualified and got into top 500.
Yeah, top 500. Yeah, it's my only sporting achievement, and it's in
What?
e-sport.
Top 500 Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah,
Back when it had
yeah.
at least 600 players.
Mm.
Yeah.
Before the esports died, I used to love watching esports,
I've
and then all the esports I watched died.
I've never been a big esports guy, to be fair. Like, I get the appeal of it, but I've never been a big sports guy. Like,
I can watch a football game. I don't keep up with it because there's way too much to keep up with.
Yeah.
But I can watch a football game.
I'll sit and watch a football game. If I'm in the room with people and the football game's on, I'll watch. But like, it's not
I
something
just watch it with my cousin, who's an encyclopedia of football knowledge, and just be like, "What's he do?" It's like, "Oh, he's England's best player. Oh, he plays for."
I just find it boring watching sports. I'd rather be playing it instead. Same with esports, really.
Well, what about F1? I'm like, I'm a bit bored of watching this. Let's learn to drive an F1 game.
I don't find F1 interesting at all, to be honest.
Ben,
I do, but I don't watch it.
Ben, what you're describing there is just the inverse of the situation of people being like, "Why would you watch someone else play a video game when you can play the video game?"
I
Yeah,
don't
I
watch
know.
people play video games though.
I
I've always
used to
thought that's a stupid argument because everyone's watches football.
yes, but like what you've just found is the inverse of
I
that.
know.
Like, I don't watch really many Let's Plays anymore. I used to when I was
No.
younger. Like I used to watch the shit out of Game Grumps.
No, yeah, I did as
I feel
well.
like I used to watch Let's Plays because I couldn't afford to buy the games myself, but now I
Yeah,
can. Just buy
when you
the game.
couldn't get the games, you're like, I want to know what it happens.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't count. So I still watch the Yogscast on occasion. Like I wouldn't count the TTT videos as Let's Plays, really.
They aren't. It's just them lot doing something whilst talking.
But
Yeah.
do you watch it for the gameplay? You watch it for them, really,
I
don't
do
you?
not watch the Yogscast for their gameplay. Jesus
Exactly.
Christ! If my favorite's Ben, I don't watch him for fucking high tier gameplay. I watch him because he goes bleh every time he dies. Like,
And his knowledge on Warhammer.
oh, that's true. His Warhammer knowledge is
Yeah.
impeccable. There is nothing I would love more than being on one of the Tom and Ben fucking episodes. You know, with the Total War
The
episodes.
Total War Warhammer.
And just chatting shit about Warhammer lore with them because I know a lot of the new lore, so I can get really upset them.
Did they not like Age of Sigmar?
Well, I feel like they've slowly like cared less about it because initially, well, basically because Age of Sigmar kind of birthed out. We're immediately losing listeners.
It's fine. It's fine. He's gone now. I'm not keeping on saying right the question. We could just go on a tangent. Go on, Frank.
So Age of Sigmar basically was born out of the death of Warhammer Fantasy, and because they were Warhammer Fantasy fans, it's kind of like a oh okay, why the fuck should I give a shit? But Age of Sigmar's kind of become its own thing now, and Warhammer Fantasy's not dead. Like a lot of more people are playing Total War than Total War Warhammer than ever played Warhammer Fantasy. Like the world still
Yeah.
exists, and for them it's yeah.
I think it's more for them the models and stuff because they're hard to get now, especially.
Yes, but from what I've heard, a couple of them are coming back. Also, once you stop looking at just Games Workshop models, it's quite easy to find orcs and goblins.
Yeah, but how reliable are those suppliers?
I'm not
He
talking
doesn't know.
I'm not talking recasts. I'm talking stuff like Kings of War and
Oh, I don't know what that is. That's too beyond me and my Warhammer knowledge.
Kings of War is just they make cheap Warhammer like bulk stuff. They're made from ex Games Workshop employees, not the models, the staff.
The models are made from eggs. Okay, you didn't need to clarify that, but
I don't think of that.
I realised from my linguistics there that that could have been interpreted that way.
you know what I would have liked to actually learn in school?
What?
A language. Because you know, like you learn languages, but you don't learn them to a level that like other European countries do, because they actually come out of school learning a different language. I know broken German.
I can say I'm sorry I don't speak Chinese.
You could have picked A level as well and done even more.
But
I
like
know, but
the language system we've got.
But I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I just picked maths, physics, and chemistry and business studies, just because it's like, oh, they're all highly regarded. I can do anything with them. And then I gave myself like the hardest curriculum because I've taken maths, physics, and chemistry.
I feel like
I got sick of it.
I feel like they should. Did they not turn around to you and go, "Are you fucking sure?"
Well, when we first started maths at A level, there was like well over 100 people, and they were like, "Right, guys, we need to round this down because there's too many of you, and we don't think all of you can do it." So we all had to do like a test, and like 50 people immediately dropped out after doing this test because it was cancer.
I don't remember doing that.
You were probably saved. I don't know. For people who got like, because I got a B in maths at A level, and I think if you got like an A on an A star, you weren't in this. But anyone lower than an A,
You mean at GCSE?
at GCSE, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sat over here with my C's across the board.
I got B's across the board. I was very
I got A's.
bad.
I got my highest grade at GCSE was business studies, and I showed up to that exam hungover.
I took business studies at A level, was predicted to get A's, and dropped it because I didn't enjoy it. I was the only person in the class that predicted to get an A, and I dropped it.
You regret dropping that instead of physics.
No, business studies was awful. We didn't have a teacher for it because the teacher left on maternity and they couldn't get another teacher. So we
have
had
a teacher for physics.
Rimo just coming in and saying, "Okay, learn from the book," and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I can't be asked. If you can't be asked
Wait,
teaching me, I'll be
there's
like,
no
no.
teacher.
There was no teacher for like 3 months. Like literally, it was ridiculous. So I was
You
just
could
like,
have
I
been a
went to
teacher, George.
Remington, who was our like, well, you know, he
And a
was our
sixth
like
form.
sixth form manager guy. I was like, I want to drop business studies because it's stupid. We ain't gonna teach you. I'm not learning anything. Everything that I'm writing down, I already know. I'm not gaining anything from it. But like, oh yeah, but you forecast to get an A. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care.
Do you know why he was like not wanting you to leave because you're forecast for an A? Because the more high grades they get, it's the marks for them on the fucking
Yeah.
system.
Like halfway through sixth form, I'm like, I don't really want to go to uni. I just go to uni to give myself more time to not decide what I want to do. So I just sort of give up, and then I got rejected from uni. Which, to be fair, I don't think it's a bad thing because I don't think I'd have done good in uni. I think I'd have just been, I can't be asked.
I wish school pushed other options instead of uni.
Yeah, stuff like apprenticeships, college. Like they mention it.
They only pushed it for the people getting the lower grades.
Yeah,
but like
so they played it up like going to a into
They
apprenticeship.
make it sound like universities. Oh, you're better. Getting an apprenticeship's like, oh, you don't want an apprenticeship. They're not good. But they're equally as good. They're just different methods of teaching.
Do you know why that is? They get better numbers on the system if people go to uni.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So schools are gamifying the system. I must be better numbers.
Yeah.
Inevitably, every system gets gamified.
Oh, it does though. It's sad. Life is just a simulation that is a game. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Get some better
MMO
drops.
of all those things. Oh.
How many store mounts can I get?
But we all had different things. In fact, no, me and you both went into work after school. Ben went to uni, dropped out, and then got an apprenticeship. So Ben's done all of the options, just one after another.
Oh, well, I went to uni, dropped out after a few months, and I worked at Home Bargains for like a year and a half or something. And then I'm doing an apprenticeship now. So yeah, I've done all three.
Well, I completely collapsed out of A level. I was like, oh, I can't deal with this. Then I spent 3 years in a fucking McDonald's. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I showed up there, I was like, I'm here a year max, I'm just sorting stuff out and I'll work out what I'm doing. Then I was like, wait, it's been 3 years. What the fuck?
You see, I went straight to working in a warehouse, and everyone I worked with were an older generation, everything like that. They're like, why do you work here? You're really smart. And I'm like, clearly I'm not. I got E's in my A levels. I can't be that smart. I'm like, you're better than this. So it's like, well, I don't care. I just want to work in my warehouse. Leave me alone.
You look back on that warehouse with so much fondness.
It was just a nice job. It was literally, I was the only warehouse staff. I just got to turn up, sort out stock, and go home. I got to drive a forklift. I got a forklift license just because I was the only one there. He's like, who do we train to drive a forklift? George is the only one at warehouse. Okay, George, you want to drive a forklift? Yeah, sure.
I remember every day you talk to me and you say
it wasn't the job, it was the people there, because the person I worked directly with was dating the manager, and that's not a good situation to be in.
Well, that's always fun.
Okay.
Because they always got what they wanted, and it always fucked me over. It was a bit of a bitch. But you know.
Well, bit of a
rude thing to I could go back. I'd just be like, "Have you still got a job in warehouse?" They'd be like, "Yeah, come back."
They'd be like, "Please."
they were really sad when I was leaving because they're like, "Oh God, what are we gonna do without George? We're not gonna have just one person who can run the entire warehouse. We're gonna have to get like 3 people at last.
We're gonna have to get a team together."
Literally, there was supposed to be a team, but there was just me for 2 years. Just me.
They must have fucking loved that. Well, they were like, "Oh, we only have to pay 1 salary."
To be fair, I loved it because it meant I could just listen to music, listen to podcasts, even though I shouldn't have been because health and safety and stuff. But no one going to run me over with a forklift because I was the only one who could operate the forklift. It was just me. It was lovely. Just do everything. There were a lot to do, but it were all easy work. Apart from when it were like lifting and stuff, lifting car batteries. It were car parts where or lifting an exhaust for a BMW. God, they are big. But yeah.
Got a forklift though?
I broke my finger once at work and continued working because we had like 200-litre barrels of oil. Well, there were 199-litre barrels of oil, and I had to like move them on the forklift because we didn't have proper equipment for moving them. Because why would they give me that? And then I just rolled the barrels, and 2 barrels. My finger just went between 2 barrels, and it like crushed it. That really hurt. I remember. Do you know when you like cut yourself? Not cut yourself. When you get cut.
Yeah, when you like say when I was working at Mackey's, sometimes when I was like trying to clean something like behind a bit of metal, it was oh, I've cut my hand. It's just like a cross, and I'm like,
do you know that feeling that you get where you feel really lightheaded, even though it's like a little bit of blood? I got that when I broke my finger. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm gonna fall over. Yeah, and my fingernail dropped off. It went black and then dropped off. It was great. That hurt when my fingernail dropped off because I could still feel it when it was dropping off. Anyway, back to the question. I don't know. I feel like I wasn't very happy in school, but I feel like that's just because I didn't enjoy learning that way. Like
I think that's most students. A lot of students don't enjoy school that much
because it's not. It's just a pipeline system. Like it's
like
people enjoy
the things I miss about school is not having to care, because you don't have to care in school as long as you're doing your work in school.
Yeah.
Where when you get into the working life, you got to stress about everything, and it's awful. If they could teach you how to manage stress, that would be a good thing. How to cope in the real world.
Well, that's what they should teach.
They should teach.
But how do you teach that? Because I don't feel like anyone's mastered that. The teachers will be like, I'm so stressed. How do I teach about not being stressed? Because the world is a stressful place. It just is.
Yeah, but there's methods of dealing with the stress. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I'm still figuring that out myself.
I just sort of live life, and then don't get sleep on a night, and then wake up, and then repeat.
Yeah. Going back to like finances and stuff that they don't teach us.
Yeah.
The argument here against it all the time is that students are going to find it boring and not going to listen. But I don't think that's
half of school.
Do you know
exactly
what do?
That's what school is. Most people don't
should
listen
make
anyway.
it a subject for people who want to take it. Then you don't have that problem, because the people who want to take it will take it, and they'll be interested.
Do it instead of RE.
Well, I was thinking.
Well, I don't mean any offense to religions or anything, but in a highly atheist modern age, why are we still teaching RE?
It's purely so people can understand. It's purely so you're like, okay, this is what this group believes, this is what this group believes. It's to try and... Because the idea is the more you understand a group of people, the less like you are to just sort of lash out.
Yeah, that does make sense now that you've said it.
But the thing that I hate about RE is that you don't learn about the religions.
Yeah.
Really. You compare like a subject between Christians and Muslims. Like, what do you think about abortion? Or is it ethically right to euthanize someone?
Well, inevitably you bring up the religions. It's like, and what do they think about abortion? It's like, they all don't like it. And
the problem I had with RE is that it was just teaching you like the Christian faith, and then comparing it to others and making the other religions sound worse.
It's not even compared to others, it's just one other religion. It's just Muslims that you compare it to. You don't compare it to any other.
Yeah, that's what they were doing in that one.
Oh, that shows you how much I listened.
They don't mention the Hindus ever. Like,
I think in like year 7, we spoke about Sikhism for like 1 or 2 lessons.
Because you were in the class. Oh, we have a Sikh here today.
Yeah. all I learned about
Sikhism.
All I learned about Sikhism is the Guru
Stuff
Granth
I've told you.
Sahib. What I learned before was the Guru Granth Sahib gets its own seat on a plane. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty rad.
You get his own bed.
The good lad gets you +1 food.
The fact that the Guru Granth Sahib has a better bed than I do. Fucking,
you have to fan it with a massive feather as well.
Man, can that be my job? Can I be a book?
Is that the book, the religious text that they have in Sikhism?
Yeah, they say it's like the last guru. Because, there's 10 gurus, and they all carried on after each other. But the last guru made this book and said that that's going to be his successor. So there's no other gurus.
Which makes sense. To be fair, it's a better play, I say, than like having like a pope set up or like a chain of people, because then inevitably, right, someone's going to be a prick. And they're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah, but what if he wrote prick things into the book? And now it can't be changed ever.
Well, I hope he didn't. I haven't read the book. I don't think I know Is it translate? Is it one of the ones that you can
Is it in-
translate, or is
what
it one of the
language
ones
is
that
it
you're
in?
not
Do you
allowed to
know?
translate?
Is it
I think it's in Punjab. Punjabi.
Are you
Yeah.
allowed to translate it, or is that bad? Is it
Assume
like
it's translated.
it's like
I'm
the
not the
Torah?
best person to ask about.
Well, it won't be like Christianity where you've got to get the message to everybody. I assume. I don't
I
know
mean,
because they didn't teach me about Sikhism in school.
Yeah,
they've got
exactly.
the swords.
The most I know about religious things is from playing Crusader Kings. And I've learned more from Crusader Kings than I did at school.
And you only play the Catholic ones, really?
Yeah.
How often do you play the Muslim ones?
So because I work with a substantial Islamic group, so in my workplace there just happens to be quite a few Islamic people. Because of this, I now know where if I stood in the store, I can tell you the direction to Mecca because of the when they're praying. Like, and half the time I've tried to go to be like, oh, where's so and so? I need him to sign off on this thing, and then I'm like, oh, they're praying. All right, I'll give it another 10 minutes and just wander off for a bit.
That must be awkward when you need to do something but the praying. You're just like,
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
I'm just gonna hold on.
there's a husband and wife that work there, and they pray together. And I'm not gonna lie, it's adorable. Like I walk past the room and they're both praying together, and I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
I wish I had someone to pray with. I am
Oh.
just alone.
But I've learned a lot more about like the sort of the way Islam just is, just from talking with them about it. Because I find that people are very scared to talk about religion. Like they're worried very deeply that they'll offend
Yeah.
someone.
Like
They just think people
controversial
will
thing,
judge
innit?
them. I think.
Like I find it, I just ask. Like I want to know more, and if I can't know more without asking those questions.
I think most religious people are pretty chill. It's just you have
Yeah.
those extremes on either side. Like you got like really extreme atheists who just try and shut them down all the
Oh
time.
yeah, they're like, haha, tips fedora.
Yeah. Or
And
you
I'm
got
like,
like the really
I was going to
fundamental
say something
religious
different, but
people.
it's political, so I'll but say.
well, I think I had a chat with one of them at one point, and they were like, "Oh, so what's your like sort of religious beliefs?" And I was like, I turned around and I just was like, I've just never had faith, and I feel like that's a key part. Like you need to be able to have that faith in someone and in something else. And if you've never had that, it's I think difficult to just sort of grow it.
Yeah, you need to
Like,
believe in something.
and I believe that there's some kind of higher power, but I don't believe we can ever
Be
possibly.
more agnostic.
I like to hope there's something out there, primarily because then that means there's an afterlife, and I'm not just a bunch of synapses that's just going to stop at some point.
Yeah.
'Cause that's
That's the thing
terrifying.
I hope.
Yeah,
See,
I
I
hope
didn't
there's
really think about that, but when people like in your life start dying, for me at least, it was like I kind of wish there is an afterlife so that they're there now and not just nothing.
Yeah.
like
Makes you think.
that was one thing. One of the people I was working with turned to me and went, "So what do you do like when you think about the end?" I was
I
like,
cried.
I was like, I don't think about it. I won't
Look
lie.
forward to it.
Let's
I look forward to it.
embrace the end. Oh, that's another thing. Like schools could teach you more. Like they teach you about the actual sort of different cultures and stuff like
Yeah, if
that.
they actually teach us like the actual tenets and everything that
Yeah.
all the religions believe, then I think that'd be a lot more interesting.
Yeah. The problem is a lot of the time when you're talking about tenants and stuff like that, is you kind of have to get someone who knows what they're talking about, and schools don't like that because schools kind of
Oh,
only want to teach you the bare bones. Like I'm pretty certain every RE teacher only got in because they also did RE at A level, and it's just a chain.
I mean,
RE teachers are self-propagating. It's like history teachers. What do you
Well, you
do with
could
a
say that
history
about
degree?
any teacher. They
yeah,
study it for their life and
I,
then
I,
they teach it.
I hope the
No.
teacher knows what they're talking about. What's the point having them?
Well, okay. You've met some teachers who don't know what they're talking about. Don't fucking lie to me.
Yeah,
They were mainly
most of the
supply
teachers that do.
teachers, though. And
Oh,
they didn't know what they were talking about because they're a supply teacher and they don't know
I feel like
physics.
yeah, but with RE, for example, like I'm not talking about knowing it in terms of knowing what the book says, but knowing it in terms of like what the current interpretations are and all that. Because
Are you
also,
saying like you should have someone of that religion teaching the religion, so they'd have a different teacher of each religion?
Yeah,
just bring
that'd be good.
bring in someone of that faith to talk about their faith.
The only problem with that though is kids these days could get very. I don't want to say racist. I don't want to call
Yes,
young
they
people
would.
racist, but
Okay.
very ignorant towards them.
In
Yeah,
our
but if you bring them more into the schools and they're around the kids more, then the kids would be more welcoming to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like kids at the moment have a very I don't know the word, very
You say-
set perception of them, and it's going to be hard to change that.
You mean
Yeah, but
You
you
are
could
you just
just
thinking
go
about that
back in.
because of our school? Because our school wasn't very diverse. We
Oh,
talked about this other day.
Yeah, we were.
There
We were
was
talking
like two
about-
black people in our year. I was like the only one with like a bit of Indian heritage in our year,
There was
and
no
everyone else was
Asian,
white.
no Asian,
There was one
not even
Asian.
American.
There was one Asian 2 years above.
Yeah, there was no
Yeah.
Asian in our year. We had a lot of
But-
Polish people though.
There was like
we
the odd Eastern European. There was like a Latvian, Romanian,
Oh yeah, Romania. I forgot about Romanian.
Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't worry, everyone else forgets about Romania as well, including the Romanian government.
there was one guy from Spain at some point, but I think he left. Like,
Oh, I was about to say his name,
yeah,
but
I can't remember a guy from Spain.
It was a very
he's on the other side of
Spanish
year
name.
to us.
It was on my side of the year. It
Yeah,
was in my form, I think.
Will it matter if you say his name? Because I want to. Who is this guy?
we'll just say after or put it in Discord.
Yeah.
Fine. I feel like I remember him, but I don't. I feel like he was a big deal because he was Spanish and then he
It was
left.
like, oh. I remember, like, he showed up the first week. Every woman was interested in him, and then after that, they realized, oh, he's just a normal person.
He's just a man.
He's just a normal human.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad, isn't it? That shows you how diverse our year was.
It was like,
I know.
someone with a foreign accent. Someone who doesn't just speak in Java. What's going on?
Oh god. The more I think about school, the more I hate it. But I don't hate it because it's school. I just hate it because of our fucking year.
Oh my god, yeah.
I feel that's a big problem in school, just getting thrown together with a load of random kids and being like, get on with them.
Yeah, this is your social interaction now.
And because you're all kids, you don't know how to act in an environment like that. Like, it's the same in work. There'll be people you don't like, there'll be people you get on with, but you don't bicker and be little kids because you're working.
In a working environment, you're more professional about it. Like, even if someone's like, if I'm at work and someone's like just being a knob, I'm like, all right, I'll just
Imagine someone picking a fight with you at work, like, oh, meet me in the playground. I'm like, no. Go.
if someone
leave me
turned
alone,
around,
I'm working.
if someone turned around to me and go, if one of my optoms turned to me and went, meet me in the fucking car park, I'd be like, all right, fuck.
You just report them to your manager and they get sacked. And they're like, oh, gross misconduct, bye.
I mean, that's why it didn't happen at work, because they kind of want the job still.
There's actual consequences for it. Like,
Yeah.
in school, there is no real consequences to beating the shit out of another kid.
I mean, you can get expelled, but the people doing it don't give a shit about school to begin with.
Like,
what happens when you get expelled? Do you just go to a different school?
Yeah, you have to go to a different school.
What happens if you get expelled from that school? You should go to a different
another one.
Yeah, but if you've already been expelled from a school, why would another school want to take you on?
That's the problem that a lot of kids that get expelled face. They end up having to go to either very specific schools or stuff like that.
They probably get sent off to a boarding school or something, won't they?
Oh, yeah,
boarding school sounds fun though, but that's just because I like Harry Potter and stuff like that.
Okay.
If it was like Harry Potter,
I don't think it's like Harry Potter.
It's just, imagine being away from your parents for literal months.
Yeah, that's a bad thing about it.
Yeah.
But you could learn magic.
Okay, boarding schools don't just teach you magic.
Oh.
Are the boarding schools all sort of all boys, all girls, or do they have mixed boarding schools?
I think they keep it that way because you live there, don't you? Unless they have dormitories for them. Because boarding school is like you live at school.
Yeah.
Is it just English that have like boarding schools? It does sound like a very English thing.
I think America has it as well.
Yeah, America's got it.
I know that it happens in America because I've seen it in movies, and I'm guessing it's probably common across at least all of Europe.
I assume it's a global thing.
It's not a very difficult concept. There's plenty of parents who will be willing to pay money to have someone else look after their child for half the year.
Just remember, they did come around in like the Victorian times, and we did own most of the world then. So
That is true.
yeah,
I like how you refer to the Victorian English as we. Like we're still
they were British, aren't they?
That's
like
true.
us.
That is true.
I'd say we're very different people
As
to them.
someone who's set up a
Yeah.
sweatshop.
Yeah, but how do we know that our descendants were those Victorian English?
It could be ancestors, not descendants.
Some of my ancestors were killed in India by the British, probably.
My ancestors are smiling at me, Imperial. You say the same.
I've also got Irish ancestors as well, so.
Oh my god, you're just constantly oppressed by. You're constantly oppressed by England. Fucking hell.
I know, so I couldn't beat them, so I had to join them, live in England.
Welcome to the winning team, sir.
But going back to schools, I don't know what to teach kids. Just teach them to be happy.
I feel like schools should have taught us more about fucking just getting by in life and the world and knowing how.
There's a lot of life skills I just don't teach you. And they just teach you facts instead. About like
outside of a maths lesson,
how a cell works.
A quadratic equation.
Yeah, I can't think of a time I've used a quadratic equation actually.
I can't remember.
Everyone says it's algebra you don't use, but I use algebra. You just don't realize you're using it because you're putting things into those variables.
Yeah, algebra skills just help you work out non-direct maths.
Yeah, algebra is like it's not like a. I don't know.
It's a concept. It's a concept to wrap your head around.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Because
it just depends what career you go into. Because you're not going to use everything you learn in school.
I am Triangle Man.
People say you don't use trigonometry, but I use it in joinery.
Yeah, like in certain skill sets, you are using it.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You use triangles.
Because I'm working with optics, if I want to become a DO, which is a dispensing optician, I do have to learn quite a bit of maths for that. Just because there's a lot of shit in terms of angles and fucking. Because so with glasses, there's what's called the pantoscopic tilt, which is just sort of the tilt of the front of the frame. So that's where the lens is sitting, basically. And for different people, especially with varifocals, it's very important to get that to an angle that the person's eyes can adjust to. And it's very minute. Even in like 5-10 degrees, like it can go fucking completely out of whack.
I didn't know about. Honestly, all I do in maths is algebra because I work in IT, and occasionally I have to write a batch file that's got some code in it, but that's very, very rare. Usually, I just tell people that side of the screen is the right-hand side of the screen. What are you talking about? Why have you asked me which side of the screen is the right-hand side of the screen? You have a PhD. That made me sad. Some doctors ask some silly questions.
If one of them ask you like what the internet is or something, or they didn't know Google was the internet.
They asked me they were using Google Chrome, and I asked them to go. Well, I didn't know they were on Google Chrome. They were like, "Can you just open your internet browser?" I'm like, "I don't have an internet browser." Like, how are you on internet? I'm on Google. So you're on Google Chrome, the internet browser. I mean, that I can understand because it is sort of terminology that you can sort of not understand if you're an older person, I guess.
I could not be in your position.
Not knowing which side of the screen is the right-hand side of the screen. This person speaks fluent English.
I feel like I couldn't be in your position, George, because I just get sarky.
If they're doing like a surgery on like your lungs and they want to remove the right hand lung, they accidentally take the left hand.
Oh no, which lung is it?
Oh man.
My right,
You're making me feel very sad that they have a PhD.
How do you not be sarky?
It's like when I had a doctor's appointment, I told them what I was, and they were like, "What's that?
What's that?
You're the doctor." I was like, "Yeah, I know I'm the doctor, but I don't know what it is." And they had to look up what this condition was that I was telling them was. I was like, "Oh, I've not heard of that before." It's like, "You're a doctor. Why am I telling you about this thing that I'm supposedly might have?"
Okay.
I don't think they know everything. They have to look it up in books a lot of the time.
Yeah, but it's like the fact that you've never heard of it at all, and it's a very common thing.
Can you
That made
message
me a
me
bit
so that I
worried.
can go look it up and see if
I
I've
don't
heard
mind
of it?
saying it's SADS, sudden arithmetic death syndrome. It's a genetical condition you can have for your heart, where your heart just stops. Basically, that's all I know. I'm not a doctor, but the doctors never even heard of it. They were like, "What is that?"
I'd never heard of it.
Oh, you're not a doctor.
Yeah, you're not a doctor, but it's something you just take. I get there's a lot to learn, and you can't know everything, but surely you've heard of it.
In those 7 years of studies.
Yeah, and he's been a doctor at that practice as long as I've been alive. So surely someone's asked him about it.
I read fainting as farting and was like, oh no, I fart a lot. Sorry, I was looking at the symptoms.
Okay. Yeah, so school, they should have taught us some life skills, I think.
I don't know. I'm happy with what school taught me. I'm smarter than. I'm really egotistical when I said that. But if I'm in an environment like when I were in the warehouse, I was smarter than a lot of the people there. But that's just because they
I feel like
went through education the same as me, and education has gotten a lot better since they did it.
yeah, you learn a lot more. I just argue that you don't learn a lot of the stuff you need. I'd say.
I think
I
like
think
with finances, they could work it into maths lessons, into like some
But
questions.
maths is a fun lesson. You shouldn't stop people from learning maths.
What the fuck did you just say to me, George?
Maths is a fun lesson.
Ah!
I think
It's
maths is
better than
alright.
English.
Yeah, English is awful.
Ah!
I wouldn't mind English if. I feel like the problem I had with English is I didn't care about the books we were reading.
Okay, as soon as someone turned around to me and said, "You have to read this book," I lost all interest in the book. I was
Yeah.
The Crucible of Mice and Men.
How many times did we read The Crucible?
I
I got told to read it at
absolutely
home like
was
3
John
different times,
Proctor.
which I didn't do. When a teacher asked you to read this book at home and you couldn't take it home because they didn't have copies of the book for you to take home, who actually read it?
I don't know. Do you know what book my mum had to do when she was at school?
What?
Lord of the Rings.
What the fuck?
I know. And she hated it, apparently.
To be
What?
fair, I can understand because The Lord of the Rings is a very long trilogy compared to Of Mice
Wait,
and
was she
Men.
doing
It
the
was just
whole-
one of the books. No, just one of the books.
Even
I can't
then,
remember which one.
I mean,
I
if
can't
it's
remember.
just Fellowship,
still longer,
Fellowship
but-
does drag in places. But if they gave her the Two Towers, which I think would be fucking hilarious,
You
give her the
can't
middle.
start on the 2 towers.
What's your mum's opinion on Tom Bombadil?
I don't know. I don't know. You probably would remember.
I'm gonna talk with your mum about Lord of the Rings lore. I'm gonna just talk for 4 hours about it. I could do. That's gonna be my next question. That's fuck the question I've got. What's your opinion on
Okay.
Tom Bombadil?
Do you know what my biggest remembering thing? The thing I remember the most from English when we're reading, is it To Kill a Mockingbird or something? It's something like that. And
That's the name of the book.
yeah, and I were reading it, and because I'm a bit dyslexic, there was Canary Wharf, and my brain just said Canada Wharf, and everyone took the mick at me for a year because I said Canada Wharf. Ooh, Canada Wharf.
I always hated it when they made us read out like a page each. So annoying.
I was fine with it, but that's because I'm a very.
Do any of you remember Mr. Khan, who was there for a year and taught English?
Never
I had
had
him
him.
for a year. He was so done with life. You could just tell he didn't want to be there. He was a good teacher. He was a good teacher. You could tell he didn't want to be there.
There's 2 types of teachers. There's the ones that break and leave teaching, and there's the ones that break and stay.
Oh, what's one that broke? We probably shouldn't be like pointing out teachers that broke and stuff. I
can't remember. Was it Westmoreland? The absolute fucking nutter.
I don't know who Westmoreland is. I know which one my favourite teacher was, like, from both personality and teaching wise. I can tell you that. Mr. Worthy. He was a good teacher.
I never had Mr. Worthy.
Mr. Worthy were a good teacher. He really were.
He
had a PhD. He were a doctor.
Yeah. Dr. Worthy.
He were a very smart person, Mr. Worthy. Respected him a lot. Went to all of his extra lessons and everything. Just because I liked him. Yeah. But he did that after school. He'd put on like extra lessons sometimes till 7 o'clock, and he'd just be there teaching you. Like that's a good teacher. Stay in there to make sure that you pass. And I did pass with lowest possible grade.
Well, I imagine it's a lot easier to do the after school lessons with the students that are coming in than because those were probably his favorite lessons to teach because he knows that you're there because you give a shit.
Yeah, you could see it when you ask him a question that's like, oh, the learning, but they're still not quite there. But I can see
Yeah,
that the learning. You should see
we
the
can do
excitement
this,
he
we
got
can
on
do
his
this.
face. It was great. It was great.
See, that's-
You could just see his passion when he was teaching. He was great. He was a good teacher.
yeah, and I feel like a big part of the problem for teachers is half the time you're teaching a group of students who don't give a fuck. They're not paying attention, and you know that whatever grades they get at the end is going to reflect on you, and you're like, okay, so these kids don't give a fuck.
I always felt that a lot in RE lessons.
Yeah.
Call it RE teachers.
I fell asleep in an RE lesson. Do you know when you watch the video, the euthanization video? I fell asleep, woke up, half of the class were crying, and I didn't know why. And it's because I just watched someone commit suicide.
I didn't show up to RE for a year, and no one caught me on it. No one said shit to me on that. I just didn't show up for a year. I just because it was last period on a Monday, and I just left.
I'm trying to. RE is the only thing I failed at GCSE.
Did you take the full GCSE or half?
Half of it, and I failed that, and I can't even remember taking the exam. Can't remember it.
I don't think I was there for my RE exam.
I did half of it, half of the GCSE, and I didn't remember most of the religious quotes I had to do, so I just started doing random ones off the top of my head. I did some Sikh ones.
Yeah, fuck it, do that.
Oh,
Be
you
like,
had that
"Come on,
advantage. Oh, you've been trained in the way of the Sikh.
I've been trained in your Sikh gods by count two.
But yeah.
Yeah.
So we think school should have taught us more general life stuff.
Yeah. I like in maths that they can just work it in with finances.
No, disturb maths. Maths is one of the most useful things. It's some of the things that I use the most.
Do we need questions like how this guy bought 15 watermelons? How many?
Yes.
Well, you don't know how often I go to the supermarket and buy 15 watermelons, man.
I don't know if I could get through 15 watermelons before they all went.
Why are you buying them for yourself? This is for a watermelon party. Have you never heard of a watermelon party?
George,
So
next time you host
you
a
and all your
watermelon
friends,
pie.
all your friends get together and you eat watermelon together.
This sounds like something a 40-year-old woman would come up with.
Why don't we do it,
vodka
guys?
inside it as well?
Oh,
so you know they'll do that.
Is that? Are you thinking of Tipsy Bartender there? I haven't heard that name in a long time. But like 2 or 3 years ago, I used to watch this person YouTube. I can't speak. YouTube called Tipsy Bartender, and he did all the like, ooh, how to make this drink.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. Yeah. Well, I think we're done with this question. It's almost been an hour.
Oh yeah,
because that was it. Shit. What?
Yeah.
Went on a long tangent about schools. Okay. Oh.
I think it's George's question next.
Yes, mine's a very deep question. What is your happy place?
Oh fuck!
If you have a happy place. I like this silence. It's like, oh no, I don't have a happy place.
I'm trying to think about what it is, and I think mine's just pretty simple.
What?
Right, you go first then.
It's a warm, sunny day. I'm in my hammock in my garden.
That's a very good hammock, to be fair. I've been in that hammock. It's a very nice hammock.
Just reading. I got my cat either sat on my lap or just underneath me, under the hammock. And it's just great. I used to do that all the time during furlough last year.
And now you don't get furlough. Oh. Now your happy place has been stripped away from you.
Sometimes I just like lay in it when it's like really warm after work or like at weekend.
Oh.
It's great.
See, mine seems really sad. But thinking about when I'm in my happy place, when I'm just sat at my desk and when I'm alone, I'm happiest when I'm alone, and I don't know why.
It's like so fucking like introverted.
Isolation. Well,
sure, there's a limit.
I do like seeing people, but I can't do it forever. Even with like my family or my girlfriend, if I'm with my girlfriend for too long, I start getting grumpy. Just because I'm like, oh my god.
I'm the same. You've got like a social battery and it just runs out of charge.
It's not because I don't like the people or anything. It's just because I can't keep up with it. It's like, I just want to be left alone.
It's just a lot of energy in it.
It is.
That's how I feel.
But I feel like that's just
opposite.
We're introverted people. Noticed recently, because it's been stressful at work and life and stuff, is like even when I'm laid in bed, I can't have silence. I have to like stick a fan on or something, just something to listen to, because that silence starts getting to me. It's like
Really?
the silence is like screaming at me. It's awful.
I feel like I constantly have to have something stimulating me. Like I have to have something going on. Like I can't just sit there and be calm. Like I have to be doing something.
If I'm not doing something, I start getting stressed. I'm like, oh my god, time's ticking away. I've got to do something. I've not got time.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
It's,
So I
I made
guess
a schedule on my whiteboard just there, and it's just I need to get myself to do something like every day.
it's why I play video games so much, because I get into that. I sit down, I'm like, oh my god, I need to do something. I start playing a video game, and then because I've started playing it, I'm like, okay, if I stop, I'm gonna start thinking again.
genuinely,
Need to keep playing.
playing games with friends is, I think, where my happy place is.
Yeah, I would say a happy place can be. It doesn't even need to be a place. It can just be a concept in your head that you consider that makes you happy.
So it depends on the game, Frank. You know, like Civ, where you just rage quit.
Well, yeah, but I'm enjoying it up until the point I rage quit.
Your
Like-
Blood Bowl, where you lose your level 3 character.
Oh my god, done. The level 3 blocker. Oh no, he's a blitzer. Oh, that hurt. It was like I'd been stabbed, George. Like, fuck.
I remember that. You just went silent and left for a good 20 minutes and then came back.
I had to you know when you're like, okay, I need to compose myself right now. I need to form some kind of something because I'm losing myself right now.
You always know
Before
it's bad when Frank goes silent.
Yeah.
That's when it gets it.
That's why I'm like, all right, I need to calm down now. Because if I punch a desk, that's standard. That's me being like, fuck off, bam, or I'll shout random
If he's
swears.
shouting profanities at you, you know you're fine. If
Yeah,
he
but
goes
once I go-
silent, the shank's coming out.
The Frank.
The Frank shank.
Time to Frank shank.
But for me, I feel like I have lots of different happy places, but if I spend too much time in a happy place, I start getting very grumpy and fed up. Like, I enjoy being with my girlfriend just laid in bed. Like, I'll just be on my laptop or reading a book, and she'll just be there watching YouTube or something, as she always does.
It's the
And
whole
I'm really
having someone
relaxed
in
there.
It's
But if I
having
stay
someone
there
near
too long, I start getting really grumpy. I have to get up. Like, I can't lay in bed all day. I don't understand how
Oh,
people
man.
can do that.
I
As
can
soon
lay
as
in
I'm
bed
up, I
all
need to get out of
day.
bed. I need a place to sleep and a place to be awake.
Well, if I get up
being
like
awake
8
in
a.m. on
my bed.
weekends.
What was that, man?
I get up at like 8 a.m. on weekends just so I can enjoy the day.
Oh.
No, it's because you're a psychopath, Ben.
Well, I also wake up at 5:45 during the week, so my sleeping patterns all day. Like that, so I do get a 2-hour lie-in.
That's fair. I get up like 9:30ish. That's what I'm getting up on weekends.
It's rare you go to bed late, Ben. Like last night, I didn't go to bed until about 1.
Well, I went off. We were playing games
It was
last
before
night.
12 that you went off.
No, I went off at 12 exactly, pretty much. Or 10
yeah,
past.
It was 12 because you were playing Vermintide, but me, Ben, and Noah were playing Destiny.
I did lay in bed and watch Netflix for a bit.
I feel like I need to do something like that, like do something before I sleep, because I just get up from my desk, go to bed, and then just lay there until I sleep.
I watch YouTube videos for a bit. That's what I do.
I find if I do that though, I just don't sleep and I just keep on watching YouTube videos.
What do you read? Reading's
I used to watch
good.
anime before I went to sleep, and that put me to sleep. And I think it's because I had to read the subtitles, and I know it's not a lot of reading, but I feel like it actually put me to sleep.
You could just start reading books. That's supposed to be really good before you sleep.
Yeah, but the only problem is when I'm at that point where I'm in bed, it's like I can't be bothered reading because I've not got the energy to read. Well, I do have the energy to read, but psychologically, I'm like,
what if you just stay at your desk and read for like 20 minutes or something, and then you go to bed?
I don't know. It'd be something to try.
If I'm sat at my desk, I want to still be doing stuff online. I feel like I paid a lot of money for this computer. If I'm at my desk, I'm using it.
Well, you can read a book on your computer.
Yeah, but then I'm reading from a screen. And
a lot of manga I have to read on my computer because I can't get translated manga in this country.
I read it on my phone.
Oh, I can't do that. It's too small. That's why I've got my laptop, and it's a touchscreen laptop, so I fold it in half to be like a tablet, and then I put it on its side. It's like a full page. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
I don't need that much detail for my Hero Aka reading, so like.
Why would you read that of all things?
I enjoy Hero Whacker. Fucking great.
To be fair, I finished the villain arc now.
Oh, now you're into actual good times.
Yeah, I've not read since the villain arc though. I've not read in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And
I
what do you think of manga? Is manga your happy place?
No.
I think you'd actually enjoy manga then.
He'd enjoy some. There's a couple
You should
ones-
try Succubus Supporters.
No. No, he shouldn't.
Going back to sleep.
Alright.
Sometimes what I do is on Audible. There's this thing called sleep meditations. I listen to them sometimes, and it just makes me go to sleep.
I've
could try
never
that.
done like meditation stuff, but I used to listen to what you would call them, rainstorms,
ASMR?
thunderstorms.
Oh.
Used to listen to thunderstorms.
You should try the
Me.
meditation thing because it just makes you focus on your breathing, and then you just like fall asleep from that because you're not really thinking about anything.
Actually, when I was in school and I like wasn't sleeping well, I actually started to try like meditate before I went to bed, and I just shut my eyes and just focus on my breathing. It did relax me, but it didn't put me to sleep.
Would be also having other thoughts as well while you're doing it.
No,
That's what
just
happens when
thinking
you're breathing.
I was thinking of breathing.
I always have other thoughts, Ben. I've got a lot of thoughts going on.
I'd say
in
my
this
biggest
brain.
problem at the moment is when I sit down to go to bed, I start thinking about work. And
Yeah,
that just keeps me awake all night. It's like, oh, because you can't do anything about work when you're not at work, but you're stressing about work. Shit.
that's what's making you not go to sleep because you're spending all your energy thinking, and
Yeah.
to fall asleep you need to not really be thinking much.
Yeah, but Ben, I can't stop thinking.
We should
More
try,
thinking,
should
Ben.
try the meditation thing on Audible. It's called Sleep Meditations, and the episode I listen to is Sleep Island.
And with our code.
It's free as well.
with
Ooh,
code.
free things.
With code
Yeah.
confused at checkout, you can get. No,
Or it might
You
be
can
free to
get-
Audible members. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I've got Audible.
Yeah,
I don't.
Maybe I just listen to audiobooks before I go to bed.
yeah.
But then again,
you can set a sleep timer.
I know. I have done it before, but then I fell to sleep and there was like half an hour of the chapter left. I'm like, oh, I don't know where I was. I'm gonna have to watch this chapter again. Listen to
Yeah.
this chapter again. You don't watch Audible.
You
It's
could.
like listening to a painting.
Well done. Well done. Flawless. That was flawless execution there. Fucking wonderful.
But going back to happy places, I feel like I'm just happiest when I'm here at my desk alone. Yeah, but then again, I feel really happy when I'm just away from like my hometown, home city. Even if I'm just on my own, if I just go somewhere, even if it's in England, just a different city, that makes me happy. I'm just away from everything. Or when I go to a lodge, I'm just
You have
away
the
from
places
everything.
everywhere but home.
Yeah. It's just somewhere where I'm away from everything. And obviously I can't be away for too long, but when you just get away. Like when we went to anime conventions, obviously you didn't go, Ben, but me and Frank did.
Yeah.
It's like you just in a completely different, it's like you're in a different world for a weekend.
It's
And it
fucking-
truly
it's
is with an
fucking-
anime convention.
It's fucking wild. I'm not gonna lie. Like you see so much like stuff of like this makes no sense. Like
Have you ever seen
get-
a furry take off their hat? It's a sight to behold. Sorry, not hat, their head. I suppose it's their head.
their skin.
Their skin. I made it sound really weird, like I'm watching furries getting undressed. I'm not. They just took their head off because it was very warm in the convention.
My favorite thing is when you see someone in a very low budget cosplay walk past someone with the exact same cosplay but very high budget, and I'm just like, you know what? I salute.
I loved the one time I role played as what's his name, Yomo from Tokyo Ghoul. And people came up to me because they actually had key rings of Yomo. I'm like, oh, I've got a key ring of Yomo. And I was like, oh, yeah,
that's
cool.
so cute.
And I even
I'm-
shaved my beard to be Yomo's little soul patch.
Oh my god.
I actually really enjoyed that soul
Do you
patch.
reckon anyone would? Do you reckon anyone would currently recognize that if you showed up to a con as Yomo?
I don't know. I don't know what, like, because we haven't been to a convention for a while. But I feel like the age demographic is quite young these days.
It's all Hero Whacker right now, and
Oh,
Hero
yeah.
Whacker has a big like 16-year-old demographic, which when we were big into shonen, well, we still are, but like when we were that
Me, it
sort
was
of age, group,
Naruto.
like
I mean, Hero Whacker did come round when we were like growing up.
yeah,
we were like in that demographic when it first. Well, we didn't do manga, but we do now. But when anime came out, I want to say we were only like 15, 16.
I feel like it was a fucking. I'm looking it up right now.
I feel like I was 16 because Noah came up to me and were like, "George, you should watch this." And then he showed me the 5th episode where he beats the Forks villain. And he's like, "Oh, that's quite cool."
2019. So we were 20.
There's no way that's not the first season. We were in school. I'm telling you, because I remember Noah coming up to me. I think it was in the 6th form common room.
Wait, why is it saying the 4th season? Go fuck yourself. Hero Aka 1st episode.
But Ben, you should watch anime. It's great. I remember in 2012 watching Psychopaths. 2016, so we were 17. So we were in 6th form.
Yeah, but we were
So we weren't in
6th form.
Kids. Well, we are still kids at that.
George, do you remember Fortnite Dancing Deku?
I do remember Fortnite Dancing Deku. Just to put that in perspective, that was like a cosplay show they had, and there was someone dressed as Deku, and then she got on the stage and started Fortnite dancing. That shows you the age demographic of the My Hero Academia fans.
Me and Morgan turned to each other and went, "We can't unsee that. That's something. That's a memory we now have."
Oh, do you remember seeing it? I thought it was the cutest thing in the world. There were a gay couple that cosplayed together. One was Corin from Fire Emblem, and one was Robin from Fire Emblem. And they had sick cosplays, and they were both gay together. And it was like, "Oh, that's so cute. They're doing that together." Ben, I think you genuinely like an anime convention. You can just sit there and play video games. It's great.
Ben would like an anime convention. Ben would like an anime convention from the same perspective that like a researcher likes seeing wild animals.
It's a sight to behold, and it's quite entertaining.
A vlogging for the podcast.
I remember sitting there with Liam for about 2 hours playing Dead or Alive on the Dreamcast. My hands were sore from holding the Dreamcast controller for 2 hours straight playing a fighting game.
What the fuck was I doing?
I don't know. It was just me and Liam. Everyone like dispersed, and me and Liam found each other and like, "Do you want to go play some games?" Like, yeah. And the Dreamcast was free, so we sat down and played Dead or Alive.
The favorite thing was the games area had about 4 consoles.
I don't know. I remember when I went to one on my own, and it was the smallest room for the games area, but there was so many games in it. They had there was the Smash tournament, which had the massive TV, and then there was like the Tekken tournament tucked in the corner, the tiny TV.
I remember this because you played 90 games of Tekken.
That was first one went to, and me and that guy just sat down, and we had over 70 games of Tekken just sat there.
Do you even know his name?
Can't remember his name. I remember when I went onto my own, I made a friends with a guy called Kane, who I also played Tekken with.
Yeah.
I've still got him on Steam.
If the next time we do a con, I do want to cosplay. That's what I want to do. That's what will that be our happy place? Anime conventions.
It sounds like it is.
They are fun, and you've got good food. Do you remember when we just sat there playing the Battlestar Galactica board game?
That was fucking great. When Morgan managed to... Okay, the fact that as soon as I became the Admiral, I wasn't even the Cylon. I just immediately went, I'm taking direct control. I was given a small amount of power, and it immediately went to my head. And I was immediately like, no, I can't trust any of you. I'll vent anyone. I don't care.
I like how they had like 3 long tables set up for the board games, and like us and another group playing board games. When we were playing that game where you had to like take the cards and the cards told you to do something, and people started coming up like, "Can we join?"
Oh yeah, I remember
sure.
That. There was random extra people. It was fucking great.
And then we were like shoving cards in our mouth, and then they were shoving cards in their mouth, and like, this is a weird game.
This has gotten weird. This is about to get weird. I feel like if we play this game much longer, this is gonna get even weirder.
Transfer the card from your mouth to another player's mouth. Oh, this is weird. But yeah, Ben, you can just sit there at conventions playing board games. It's great. There were so many board games as well. They just had a full long table, and it was just board games that you like to take them, just don't damage them, bring them back once you've finished playing them. Oh, it was great. Oh. Guys, we should go to a convention. Yeah. Do you remember the first time we went and we took a lightsaber lesson? We took a lesson in lightsaber combat.
Oh,
and they had it was actual like the actual English lightsaber sports, whatever they do for it, like the actual professional scene. And they had their lightsabers, and they gave you some like training lightsabers, and they taught you the techniques for lightsaber combat.
Well, they never taught me Form 2, which is intended to deflect blaster bolts. So
Yeah, never taught us that.
yeah.
I don't know what form they did teach us.
When they get out the paintball gun and go, all right, we'll let in Form 2 today, boys.
Oh,
Oh, I do want
you
to
know
go. I
what?
can't. But I think a
Just-
big part of that was
Just getting away is my happy place. Just getting away from my worries. If it's a convention, if it's a lodge, if it's just going to a city.
Yeah.
It's being in that low stress environment.
It's just not having to worry about anything. Like everything, even family, just getting away from family. Which sounds awful, but you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
you don't have to worry when you're away.
I understand.
But you can't stay away forever. You've just got to maybe a weekend away. It's just lovely.
It just gives you that break.
Yeah. Oh, I need a break.
Break
Even
from
though I've
life.
just had a week off work, but I need a break.
I'm about to, I think next week I got like 5 days off in a row. It's pretty sick, not gonna lie.
Oh, I've got 134 days until my holiday.
I thought you were about to say 134 days off in a row, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that. You're getting paid to be at home or going away. What I do though? I just go to anime conventions.
That sounds sick as fuck, not gonna lie.
You do see some right dodgy stuff at anime conventions as well, though. Like I saw
So-
a pretty noncy guy at the one I went on my own. he was like the Tekken, like he was in charge of the Tekken stuff, and these two very young girls came up, and he got very, very excited about them and very touchy feely with one of them.
So what we do is we form nonce patrol. We
It
show
was
up.
a bit weird, and everyone was like questioning it, but no one was doing anything. It's like
I feel like
see this.
now we just turn around
because
and go.
we're all incels at an anime convention, we're like, oh, what do we do?
No, you just turn around and like, mate, that's a bit weird. Not gonna lie.
Maybe my sister and a friend would like it, but I'm not sure now.
As long as they,
I'd keep her safe. I would say I kept on butting in on their conversation, like, and he just sort of looked at me with disdain. I'm like, oh,
well, yeah,
look, I play Tekken. You two have been going at it for a while, though. That sounded weird. You know what I mean? Going at Tekken for a while now.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, because what you're doing there is you are preventing the nonce.
It just felt weird. It's like I just want to play Tekken, and now this guy's like being a bit noncy.
I feel like I would just call the guy a nonce, and then there'd be an argument.
Yeah, but it could have been that he was just being a nice guy, and he didn't realize what he were doing, and I just thought, a bit weird. It's just my perspective, but yeah. I don't think your sister would like it, but how old is your sister?
15.
Yeah, I won't let her go on her own because every time I've gone, I've stayed in the city overnight, so I won't let her go on her own with her friends because 15-year-olds all on their own is never a good idea.
She'll be 16 this year.
Would she be going with the guy from down south?
With the guy from down south.
Well,
he was on a weed friend.
Wouldn't let him go.
Like, as in, the weeb mates, or...
That'd be funny, though, if me and Frank went to an anime convention and we just saw your sister. And your sister's like, hey, you're the guy who threw up in my sink, pointing at Frank.
Yeah, and I'll be like, yes, I am Vomit Man! that threw up in your sink.
That could be the hero you cosplayers from My Hero Academia, Vomit Man.
Vomit Man.
He comes in the manga, spoilers.
Oh
just
man,
holding a sink.
The character I'd love to cosplay would be Kirishima. Unfortunately, as you could tell from this part of him,
But the listeners is holding up a statue, by the way.
Oh yeah, shit. Sorry. So Kirishima is incredibly.
I've got a Bakugo figure. I could do Bakugo.
So Kirishima is incredibly ripped. I am not, and Kirishima's hero outfit has him shirtless. So I don't think I can cosplay that. Though we could. Oh no, George, what are you doing?
I'd like to be Skinny Fat Gum.
Oh,
we could do that though, because they team up.
Yeah,
Skinny Fat Gum and Kirishima.
Oh, that'd be sick. I'm not gonna lie. And if we got in shape for that, because if I got ripped, I'm not gonna lie, I would be looking for any excuse to take my shirt off.
You become a JoJo fan.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. If I was ripped as fuck, I would be sat in the video recording for the podcast would just be me shirtless. Like regardless of the situation, it'd just be me.
Just some tape on the nipples so we don't get demonetized.
Yeah, just the cross tape. At the end of
So
each
what we've
episode,
established is mine and Frank's happy place is anime.
apparently so.
Yeah.
Apparently, our happy place is anime conventions. I've not been able to go to one for a fucking.
To be fair, I remember when I used to just watch anime all the time, and I watched like trash anime, but I loved it. When I used to watch like every isekai there was, and I knew they were trash, but I just sat there all weekend watching anime. It was great. I
In
remember
another
last
world
time I was
of home.
properly poorly. I was supposed to be going to a wedding. I got out of the wedding because I was sick. Like actually, I was throwing up all the time, and I just stayed there in bed all weekend watching Rising of the Shield Hero, and it was
Why would you-
great.
Oh, I fucking hate Rising of the Shield Hero.
I love it, but I feel like it's because I watched it when I was poorly, and I just binge watched it all. It was great. Ben, you should
Oh.
watch anime. Viewers, what do you think? Should Ben watch anime?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Twitter poll.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a Twitter poll. Should Ben watch anime? Yes, yes.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna watch some anime.
What, right now?
Nah,
I'm
I'm
still
gonna
on the
watch some
question
anime
mark.
today.
Yeah, there's more. So our happy place is anime conventions because that's who
My
we
happy
are.
place is anime.
Ben, what's your happy place?
My hammock in the garden on a nice
To be fair,
warm day.
it is a pretty fucking sick
Yeah.
hammock.
You know what you
Snuggle
could
in
do
between
whilst
two
you're in your
trees.
hammock?
It's
You
great.
could watch anime.
And we've got a code from crunchyroll.com. Ben's gonna have to beep out every time I say a brand name.
Your sister can watch
but-
this episode, Ben, because we talked about anime. She might learn a thing or two.
What about anime cons?
Yeah, from these anime veterans that we are.
I'd say
We're
like
veterans of the
nonsense
anime.
anime.
I'm a veteran of the waifu wars of
Oh god, the
RE
waifu
Zero.
wars. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different wars.
Which waifu wars are you
I'm not
thinking?
saying the name of this wars. It's something specific to our friends group. It starts with H and ends in wars. It was on like Discord or Messenger groups that we used to do. We don't talk about that. God, that was like 5 years ago now.
Oh fuck. Oh. To be fair, that hammock is quite nice. A sunny day
Yeah.
in that hammock would be quite nice.
It's so
when I
nice.
was in that hammock, it was soggy, and I
Yeah,
was very drunk.
and it
but
was pitch black.
I had a great time. I don't know how long I was in that hammock for.
You've got
For
such
sure you
a
fell
big
asleep in
garden,
it.
Ben.
Very nice garden.
I'm jealous how big your garden is.
Well, you have to come round more.
Are you trying to get me to come around your house? Are you trying to groom me?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
What are you gonna do about
I
it?
am.
Ooh. At least you're honest about
Respect an honest groomer. All right, so we decided what our happy places are.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mine's
my
being
question-
alone.
mine's being an anime con apparently because I'm a fucking huge weeb. Kawaii desu.
To be fair, I want to go to a con and properly go to the bar on a night.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, because I bet that's even more fucking wild.
I bet it's just a load of like stoners and stuff. I bet it is
It's-
just stoners.
It's probably just stoners or weird like.
Well, they have like the
I'd say,
event
like-
which is cosplay blind dating. That
I'm
would be
not
the
gonna-
funniest thing
That
in the
would be
world to watch.
fucking hilarious.
And they actually pretend to be the character they're cosplaying. Oh,
Okay, if I'm just Kirishima, I just continuously talk about how manly.
how
things
manly
are.
I am.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to the next question. I
Yeah,
don't want to
Frank's
start another
question
tangent.
All right. So, I have come from the heavens, and I will bestow upon you a power. This is the start of the question. Now, if you remember in Harry Potter, there's the concept of the animagus, of the person who can transform into any animal.
Do we have to do the animagus thing of like the month-long spell casting to become an animagi?
I'm giving it to you for free. I'm just
Give it
going
to me
down
for
and be
free,
like,
okay.
yo, fucking, I'ma zap you with my wizard powers, and you can transform into one animal. That is your one transform. You get to do it freely at will. You know, it's quite fast. I'm not going to say it's instant transformation. You like scrunch up a bit and then come out. It's quite
Does it
fast.
hurt?
No, it's fine.
Can I
Okay.
transform at will, or am I just this animal now?
You can transform at will. It's
Oh,
like
so
an
it's
anime.
like wild
Okay.
shape. Wild shape, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild shape from D&D, except
Yeah.
you don't have an extra health bar on top. If whatever injuries you sustain, I'm saying carry over.
Okay.
Like you break a wing as a bird, your arm's broke.
Well, what if you've got arms and wings as your new animal?
Or if you get millipede and you break just one of the legs.
Tiny fracture in one of your bones.
Okay.
It like scales.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll let you finish your question. We've just jumped in with questions of
Now-
our own.
You get the power to turn to one animal. Which animal do you pick?
Well, an important question: is it considered bestiality to fuck other animals of your kind
Why
when you
is this-
are
why do you
when you
always
are
ask
the
this?
animal?
Yes, I would say
It is
so.
considered
because-
bestiality. Will
Yes,
people
because-
know?
No.
that-
No.
As in-
You do it secretly.
So, what is the most attractive animal? Is what you're telling me?
No, that's not where we're. I was thinking like, oh, what animal could you turn into? What animal do you think represents you? What animal do you think you'd like to have the traits of? You're
Which animal
immediately
can
jumping
you fuck?
in Night City. You can become
Uh,
a dog.
no, but I don't think I would fuck an animal. I'd still
Good.
live my
I'd
normal
hope
life.
not.
Well, you don't know. Sometimes you get really lonely, don't you?
Ugh.
Don't you guys? Don't you?
You like being lonely?
Yeah, I do.
What animal? Oh my god! I'm trying
I
to
was
think about what.
thinking, I'm just gonna stick with I like flying, so maybe a bird.
But what kind
How
of?
do you
I don't
know
know.
you like flying, Ben? Have you ever flown before?
I like the idea of flying, and it'd be very useful.
It would be useful.
Okay, I think if you pick a bird, you got to pick an aquatic bird, like one that can swim as well, because then you've got all three forms of transport.
How many aquatic birds can swim and?
Yeah, I can't
Fly.
think of a bird that swims and flies.
Because a penguin
not-
can't fly.
Not underwater, like just across the top. I'm not gonna lie, fam.
How does
Well,
most
so like a
birds do
duck
that?
and you just float.
I don't want to be a duck because then I have a corkscrew penis.
Are
a bit-
you using that?
No, but I know it's
Why does it
there.
matter then?
Yeah.
It'd be terrifying.
I feel like
I
it'd be
just-
quite cool to be like a shark or something.
But you don't like
Ooh.
the ocean though? That you have a
Yeah, but I can
thalassophobia?
explore and understand the ocean now.
If you're
I'm
a
fucking
shark, I feel
I'm
like
a king of the ocean.
I'm gonna pick. Oh, what about blue whale? Right?
And you're just massive, yeah.
Or you just
No,
randomly
something about
floating
blue
around.
whale. Blue whales can actually get cancer because they're so large. So if
Yeah.
you got cancer and transformed into a whale, would it like counter out the cancer?
I'd say
that-
it's.
Probably.
I feel like it. You probably wouldn't while you're in whale form. You don't have the cancer.
So I get a diagnosed with cancer. I am now permanent whale.
Yeah.
Rescue whale.
Boo!
Oh, I can't believe I just remembered rescue whale. Rescue whale is here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Have you ever heard of the Jesus lizard?
no.
No. It's a lizard that can run on water.
Oh,
Oh,
I've seen it.
Yeah.
in my head, it was just an image of Jesus, but with a lizard thing, and I thought it was a conspiracy theory, and I'm all aboard with this now. Jesus was a lizard, man.
Yeah. Well, it's a lizard that can go on its hind legs and just run across the water.
I've seen it before. I didn't know it was called a Jesus lizard. I'm guessing
Well,
Jesus
it's got an actual name, but a lot of people call it Jesus lizard.
because it walks on water.
Yeah.
I feel like I couldn't transform into like a bug or something, because that's like too risky.
Yeah, but everyone would hate you if you bug because everyone hates bugs. Like
Yeah.
kill
If
it.
I was to transform into like a big bug, and then someone just swats me, and then I'm like, my entire body is shattered. Like I feel like I have to go.
Swat you as you swat you transform back into a human.
I just combat roll to the ground.
And they're just like, what just happened? Yeah, but I just thought if no one knows that you're an animagi, you could just be like a dog or something, and you could just someone could
What?
just provide for your feed, you give you tummy rubs.
When
Just
you're
get
in
free
the
tummy
animal
rubs.
form, does your life expectancy go to the same as animal?
I feel like
Like-
that's a bit shit.
I'm saying your life expectancy stays the same as human, because otherwise there's going to be some weird exploits going on.
So you
Yeah,
could be the world's oldest dog.
That's true. And then, like, as you hit 70, you just transform back and then go, my time is done. On your deathbed, you transform back into a human just to freak people the fuck
Just
out.
outlive all your owners.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you go for a domesticated animal, no one will question you. But if you transform into like a bear and you're in a rural area or urban area,
You could be a
people
super.
are going to question that.
Why would you turn into a bear in just an urban area? Why would you
because
be
the
doing
animal
that?
you've chosen is bear.
Yeah, but you don't
Okay.
have to turn into it like that,
wait.
do you?
Yeah, but you'd want to turn into your animal form, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but
I
why
feel
would
like
you want to there?
If I transformed into a bear, I would then use this to become a superhero. You know, not like a high tier
Okay.
superhero, but like I'd be like, I'm gonna go fight crime.
What do you do when they start shooting you?
Yeah, what do bears do against guns?
Okay, I'll fight crime in the UK.
You still
What do
getting guns
bears
in the
do
UK?
against knives?
Okay, gorillas are a lot faster than bears. I'm not gonna lie. could've
Yeah,
just turned
in
into a
fact, no, I
gorilla.
don't think gorillas are
Remember-
faster than bears. Bears are really fast, but I think gorillas are stronger, probably.
Harambe didn't manage against guns.
That's true.
That's a throwback. That is. Make me feel old.
I feel like though,
like
right?
the 2016 meme.
I don't have to fight like just as ape run in. I can use it as like as long as they don't have
Gonna
a
climb a building.
You could just to be a superhero. You could just be a bird that carries knives, and you just drop knives on villains.
So
I
you're
don't
doing the World War One bombing method, where you just
Yeah,
like dropping
fucking
bricks.
bomb.
Drop bricks on villains.
It's still fucking hilarious that they went, what's our bombing strategy? I'm gonna yeet a brick out of the fucking plane.
I mean, if it hit someone, it would do some damage.
That's true, but like,
You said
That's
good
so-
aim.
Well,
if
he's
you
got a
drop
lot of
enough
bricks.
bricks, you're bound to hit it.
How many bricks can you carry as a bird?
You just keep on doing bombing runs. We shouldn't call them bombing runs. Yeah, brick runs.
Oh God.
Why have we immediately gone let's fight crime with our animal powers?
because we
just
were
wanna
talking
be an
about Hero
animal.
Academia earlier.
Yeah, talk about anime. I don't know.
Uh,
I can't think of why I'd want to be an animal over a human. Because you
What's
still
that
have your
what-
human
what
life.
uses? Well, you have to think like bird, you can fly. If you want to be like a fish or something, you can swim.
Oh, I'll
Don't
be
be
a
like a
koi
lizard,
fish
you can
because if
walk on
I
water.
make it to the top of a stream, I become a dragon.
That's how it works. Why just be a dragon?
Because dragons
can't
aren't
pick a
real.
can't pick a
They're not
dragon.
an animal. They're a draconid.
They're not
But
a
if a koi
beast.
fish swims to the top of the stream, they become a dragon.
It
Be a
has to be
Komodo dragon.
It has to be the beast creature type. That's what
I'm going to be an owlbear. Oh wait,
That's a monstrosity. Firstly,
I'm going to be a gnome. That's also a monstrosity.
no, that's called aberrations. Why do I hate gnomes? I don't know. Welcome
I
to
don't
Gnome
know
Ragon,
either.
guys. We're gonna run Gnome Ragon again.
Oh.
That's-
I thought I'd mention that dungeon.
But animal, I don't know. What if it's just a goldfish? What if I'm Magikarp? Can I be a
I feel
Pokemon
like-
instead?
I feel like mammals are like the premier choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what if you get gills and you just don't know how to use gills? You're still trying to use your lungs and you're like, oh, can't
How
breathe
often
through
do you go
gills."
swimming?
Not a lot.
So would it warrant being a fish?
No, but I could start being a swimmer boy that goes to the beach and swims in the sea.
Is that what you want to be? You could just
No.
be a swimmer boy anyway.
I'll be honest with you, I want to be a human.
So
Yeah,
the
well,
animal
you
you're
can
gonna
still-
change into is another human.
Oh, that'd be cool. I just shapeshift into the opposite gender. I can be a man or a woman, whatever I want. Whichever situation suits me best.
I'm metagaming.
It's like
Yeah.
in Misfits. That guy had that power.
Oh, Lucas.
Yeah.
I remember his name. Why do I remember
And he
his
thought he
name?
got pregnant by himself. So he kept on masturbating between each like gender. Do you remember that
I
episode?
remember that.
I feel like if you're switching, right, when you lose the uterus, I don't think you could keep the baby in between. Or did he like have a pocket
So
dimension?
what you're saying is, if
he
you're
got
pregnant and you
stuck
transform
in
into
the
a man,
female one, I think. Like he was switching between masturbating, but then he got stuck in like the female version, I think, and then he thought he got pregnant.
so you
That's
can't just
quite-
transform to abort the baby.
Yeah.
That would be
That's-
pretty fucked up.
Well, because the fetus would still be in you. It'd just be in like your fucking spleen or something. I
I
don't
feel
know
like
what
that
the
would
spleen
kill
is.
you. Just placing a fetus inside of a human
Well, if
body
you get it-
where
if
it's
you
not
get it
supposed to
early.
be.
If you get it early, then it's just like an extra lump somewhere.
Well, if it's not in the womb, it won't be getting its nutrients and it'll just rot, and then you'll have a rotting fetus inside of you.
Yeah, but if you get it like when it's like barely just an egg, like fuck it,
Yeah.
like the white blood cells will take care of that.
I hate this conversation.
Yeah,
This is
we'll
awful.
move on.
This is not a nice thing to think about. Ugh.
Oh my god.
This
Like
is
the
like
human
some horror game shit.
No, I'm thinking like bear because I think that'd be fucking sick. Just be like, oh, we
panda.
fucking we go in, bitch, bam. Like I just think that'd be.
What? How often do you get in fights, Frank?
If I could transform into a bear, I would get into fights all the time.
No, you'd be murdering people because you've got claws and teeth.
No, I would be murdering. I would be lightly mauling.
Ah, okay, so you'd be assaulting
Okay.
people. What happens when the police come when the armed police come?
I'll be like, I don't know what happened. A bear attacked.
No one could ever transform into a bear. That would be silly, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Wouldn't there be
exactly.
CCTV cameras seeing you
Fake.
transform?
It's faked.
Oh my god. Okay.
Officer, do you genuinely believe I turned into a bear?
My god.
I don't. I feel like you'd have to go for like a sneaky animal, like a cat or something, where you could just sneak about at night.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because you could just like explore the world at night. And if someone sees you and you're a cat, they'll just leave you alone because you're a cat.
You not explore the world at night anyway. You just go
Yeah, but
on
it's
a
dangerous
walk.
out there, Ben.
I'm sure it's dangerous for a cat as well.
Yeah, but it's less. Also, like, if a cat starts picking a fight with me, I'll just transform back into a person. Like,
Well,
the
you're a
cat's
cat.
gonna be-
You can just run away. The faster cats. You can jump like
Yeah.
2 times the height of a human.
I feel like. Wait, do I get to understand their language? Well, not language, but like get what they mean.
I don't know, it's your question.
Oh shit. I'm guessing you can probably understand like the vagaries of what they're trying to get across.
You
Like when
do
a cat,
sign language in your bear form.
like when a cat goes like meow, you know whether it's a fuck off meow, hi meow, or a
You know, cats that don't meow at each other, they only meow at humans.
yeah. Which is
I
weird,
didn't
right?
know that.
That implies
Yeah.
that's their like
They
talk
only
to a
meow
pet.
at humans or at kittens.
What
'Cause
do
they
they do
think
to
we're-
each other? Like,
Where they think that humans are just really big, stupid, hairless kittens.
I mean,
ah,
they're not wrong.
That's also
That's-
why, you know, why they
You
bring like
kitten.
mice to like your door and stuff. The
Yeah.
think is they're giving you that because they're showing you how to hunt because they think that we can't hunt. And
So
they
you're
wouldn't
telling me the way
die.
to win a cat's respect is to hunt with them. You just pick up the mouse and go, I understand, and then drop to all
Yeah, I
fours.
oh, that'd be quite cool if you picked an animal that you could hunt with. Oh, I've got a rat problem. Leave it to me. You should go hunt the rats in your cat farm.
Sorry, in my head it was wolf, and then you joined a pack of wolves, and it's like, it's been 4 years, Frank, where have you been? And I'm like,
You're going to
I
be the
joined a
beta wolf as
pack.
well.
I don't want to be a beta wolf.
You won't be the
No.
alpha.
Okay, you know why I don't want to be the alpha? Because the alpha fucks the other wolves, and I don't want to fuck the other wolves.
You'll be getting fucked instead.
No, because I'd be the boy wolf. Oh wait, there's gay wolves.
Yeah.
Is
I'd
the
be
gay
like-
wolf?
Yeah, there's gays in all mammals. Did you know bats have the highest rate of homosexuality amongst all mammals?
Good for them.
But I thought it were only dolphins that had sex for pleasure, so a bat's just thinking they're doing it with a girl.
No, it's just the way the sexuality attraction works. Like, so basically, they don't do it for pleasure, but their brain is hardwired to be like, I'm gonna fuck this.
So what you're telling me, Frank, is being gay is hardwired into your brain.
People are born how they are, that's how
Yeah.
that works.
Ah, I don't know
Um,
how gayness works. I'll be honest.
It's the same way that your straightness works.
I don't know how that works. I guess I'm just straight.
You're just
Yeah.
hardwired to be like that.
That's how it works. You never turned around and made a decision to be straight.
I mean,
Are you about to tell me you made the decision to be straight?
I mean, no. I don't understand it. I'm just let people be happy.
Yeah, that's let the bats fuck other bats. Let
Yeah.
them have their fun time.
I just didn't realise that animals were doing it as well.
Yeah, lions do it.
Did you know that chimpanzees have shown to prostitute themselves?
To what?
Oh, I've heard of that.
Prostitute
Before, yeah.
themselves.
Oh man, sick.
Yeah. And they've done it
Why are
in
you saying
zoos.
that like it's a good thing, Frank? Like, oh yes, animals fucking each other. Yes.
Well, no, because it shows that prostitution is prostitution is described as the oldest profession.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a trade, isn't it?
Yeah,
As
like
silly as it sounds, sex is a tradable commodity.
yeah.
You get an apprenticeship in it.
You get apprenticeship in sex. What is your
No,
trade?
because then you go
sex?
straight out of high school into it, and it's like, oh no.
I mean, you're legal at that point. You can do what you want. There's nothing wrong with an 18-year. Well,
Oh, it's
I'm not
legal
going to say
in
there's
the
nothing
UK.
wrong with prostitution because it's a
I make
iffy
the
topic, but
If they want to do it, then fine.
yeah. The problem is with prostitution that a lot of the time there is a lot of exploitation in that industry, and it's hard to get that exploitation separated away from the industry itself.
yeah, you
Without
can't really moderate prostitution.
It's difficult to moderate because you'd have to be moderating each and every transaction, and the people that are hiring prostitutes generally don't want their transaction to be moderated.
Yeah.
If you had to write down on a form with your name on it every time you bought a hooker, I feel like people wouldn't be buying hookers.
Well, you don't buy a hooker, you rent them technically.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I've never rented.
Oh, I haven't either. I don't think I'll ever. Have you seen my beautiful face?
I don't think my ego would
Got a
let me
girlfriend.
have it.
Yeah, I do also have a girlfriend. Good point, Ben.
That's a nice save there, George.
I was talking about a single George. George in his prime.
What do you mean in his prime?
Back
It's
when
fine.
I was
She won't
a
listen to it.
single Pringle.
Ready to mingle. Yeah, but I feel like it would affect my ego too much. I'd be like, nah, I've paid for this. I don't know.
I don't feel like I'd enjoy it. I feel like I'd just be like,
Well, I'd be like,
It'd be a bit
oh,
weird.
well, like for me, I'm not gonna get into this.
Anyway, animals.
animals.
Anyway, what animal would you like to transform into?
I don't know. I like otters just because they're cute and cool. And if you're a water, you're waterproof.
That's true. To be fair,
Well,
Otter's not a
skin
bad
is
shout.
waterproof.
Not like completely.
It pretty much is.
Have you heard of people die of exposure, Ben?
Yeah. Is that? That's all
Yeah,
just
but Ben,
been
otters have that much fur that the water can't even make it to their skin.
okay.
That's how cool they are. And I could also hunt
Okay.
fish because they are the apex predator, as we know.
I think
Guys,
George was
you can
on
hunt.
something earlier with cat. I think cats are
I
good.
think just
Hi, this is Ben editing the podcast. We had a couple of problems with the recording software for this episode, and it caught a big chunk of the audio. So to give you the gist of what was said, it was just Frank saying how he would like to be a crow. So sorry for the interruption, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
make them as smart as a
No,
pigeon.
I mean like if I'm
Or
interacting
to
with
influence
other
crows rise up.
yeah, I'd be like, oh, all right, crows, and they'd be able. If I'm understanding them and we're getting points across, I'm like, all right, we can make a plan here. Me and my
Teach them all
crow.
that scarecrows aren't real people.
It's just quite funny. Scarecrows don't work on crows. They haven't worked. They haven't worked for literally centuries because crows worked it out.
Yeah. God.
So what
they
you
went-
tell me, Frank, if birds start shitting on my car a lot, I know to come to you because
Yes.
you've revealed that you are an animagi.
Yeah, and then I'll turn into a bird and go and fly away.
I'll bring my hunting rifle,
Oh,
shoot you
no.
out the sky.
And then you shoot me. Poof, 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 body.
I'll record it and be like, officer, I just shot a bird. It transformed into a man.
Anyway,
I don't think you'd be able to hit me. I'm fat. I'm agile.
I actually do have a. It's not a hunting rifle. It's like an air.
Oh, an airsoft
It's
gun.
like a pellet rifle.
A pellet
You know,
rifle
like
would
one of the
kill the
foldable
fuck
ones.
out of
BB
it.
gun.
Yeah, it would kill a bird, but I've not shot it in like 6 years.
You've
So I
also
don't
probably
know if
never
I could.
shot it at a flying bird.
No, I've never shot an animal. I used to shoot it at like cans and stuff. Yeah.
I thought you said crabs for a second there. I was like,
No.
I released crabs into my garden and then shot at them. It's fine, they're armored.
Hmm.
Anyway, I think I'd pick a pigeon or something.
I want to go crow. But then again, I'm edgy.
Yeah. And George is an otter.
I don't know. I think I'd go for a cat just so I'd fuck your cat, Ben, and then I could say that I fucked your cat.
Okay.
I was going to be like, oh, if we all had this would be quite cool. We'd be able to like just do shit. Like we'd be like, all right, do you want to go do bird shit?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if you were, what's like the fastest bird? Because then I could just,
Peregrine falcon.
I'd be that. So I can just, next time I'm going to an anime convention, instead of paying for transport or driving there, just bird my way over.
I think peregrine falcons aren't good at. You'd want long distance flight, not. Because,
Yeah. What's a glidey bird? A vulture.
Any bird can glide.
We probably want a UK.
I feel like some birds are better at gliding than other birds.
You can get a bird that just hovers.
A hoverbird. A
Yeah.
vertical takeoff bird.
Actually, there's a problem. A lot of the birds in Britain, all we've really got is garden birds.
Yeah. Like a hummingbird
Owls,
would be
apparently.
cool. But why would you want to be a hummingbird? It can't do long distance. That I'm
Also,
aware
do you
of.
know a hummingbird has to eat like it has to eat its 3 times its caloric like
Yeah.
every
'Cause-
day. Otherwise, it
Because it
just
moves
dies.
its wings so fast, doesn't it?
It
Uses so
will
much energy.
it will starve to death in 3 hours
Ah.
from a full stomach, dude. It's fucking ridiculous.
God. All right. Should we wrap it up then?
So I'm going crow or raven. Oh my god, I'd get a fucking cloak and everything.
I'm just
I'd
gonna
immediately.
go pigeon.
I'll start calling you Medivh.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I would arrive to every event, landing as a crow, shaping in, and then be like, "Ready for spoons, lads?"
I'd be a cat. I don't know. I feel like cats be easier. Just
Yeah.
nice.
I like this.
It's been a good episode.
Has it?
I hope so.
I also hope
Let
so.
us know.
In
Yeah.
the comments below and on the streaming. Email us.
Tweet at Frank
What?
on his Twitter.
Yeah, at me. At the Twitter. And then scream at me about it. Be like,
The
no,
name of the Twitter.
Yeah, what did you
You're-
name it?
it's a I think. Oh fuck! I haven't named it yet. Actually.
I assume it's confused Yorkshireman.
Yeah,
Be
we could
confused,
use
Yorkshireman.
Yorkshireman, but I can't remember the exact fucking. I can't remember what the exact bits will be.
I'm sure you can find it. We'll probably link it in the description anyway.
Yeah, we'll link it in the description.
Yeah. But thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you're on YouTube or review it on iTunes or all the other podcast sites. And share it with people. Thanks for watching. I've been Ben.
I've been Frank.
I've been George.
Catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.